Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for the first time here in 2021, it's your Chief of Police, Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I am well, Jeremy. Happy New Year to you and the Fact TV crew.
Hey, thank you. Same to you and the staff at Fitchburg Police Department. Glad to have you back here this year, and appreciate all your time that you give us each and every month to pass on information on what's happening at the police department. Chad, as we kick off the new year, we always try to talk about what's happening at the police department. I mean, that's the goal of this segment. First one that I wanted to touch on was car thefts. We have some preliminary data in from 2020. I think it's good to share, be transparent as to what is happening out there. So how did we finish out the year? What do you summarize? How do you summarize what happened in 2020?
Yeah, so our preliminary data is just starting to be compiled that allows us to take a look at year-over-year crime rates and reportable offenses and those sorts of things. And we use a system from the federal government that our FBI that we're required to use to report our crime data called Uniform Crime Reporting. And in that data, what we do is we look at crimes such as homicide, rape, robbery, burglary, theft, motor vehicle theft, and similar crimes. And we report those instances to the UCR portal. So in our preliminary look at 2020 data compared to 2019, specifically related to motor vehicle thefts, we are literally right on the same number that we were in 2019 and 2020, which is 62 confirmed stolen automobile reports filed with the department. Now, I do want to add a little bit of a caveat to that the way the UCR reporting works is that if someone enters a garage of a home and takes a car from the garage, that is reported to UCR as a burglary. That's how they want us to report that as the most serious offense only. So there are likely more than 62 automobiles that have been stolen last year, but for the purposes of this comparison, we are flat in 2020 versus 2019. And real just briefly from a historical perspective, long about 2016 or so, we were in the mid-20s for stolen automobile reports in the city of Fitchburg through an entire year. And then in 2017 is when we began to see that sharp increase. Since 2017, we've had anywhere between probably 60 to 75 stolen autos reports every year since then.
Yeah, it's a staggering number at that, and also a good reminder here too, as we start the new year off, is if you see something, you got to report it, but also continue to take the basic steps of kind of deterring that crime of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. In December alone, we had at least 10 automobiles taken in the city of Fitchburg. So it is obviously a crime of opportunity. And with colder weather here, not only this month, but last month and probably another month or more, it does create that crime of opportunity. And I've seen a number of reports in the last several weeks of cars where somebody started them up in their driveway or outside of business or left them run outside of business while they ran in. And literally within a matter of a few minutes that they come out and that car is gone. So we definitely would encourage folks not to engage in warming up their car unless they have remote start capabilities, which would immediately disable the car if somebody doesn't have a key or key fob when they try to drive away, or it would just be locked, obviously, while it's warming up. So prevention is key. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we'll keep spreading the word for you here on Talking Fitchburg, Chad. Switching gears here to an interesting talk piece, and sorry, I have to ignore the action going on here at the Crosby household. There's a lot of action here. It's a newsroom,
There's a lot of work
Chad,
productivity
just so you know.
that is necessary.
It's a newsroom. We're very busy here at the Crosby household. Talking about gun violence and mentors. Some stuff came out here. A PSA kind of talking about this. Set this up for us and tell us a little bit about what this means for for mentoring, which is a huge thing, by the way. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. So Dane County District Attorney Ishmael Azan put together an end gun violence work group in 2020, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to participate as part of that work group. The work group consisted of community stakeholders, criminal justice partners, and other police department or law enforcement agencies, and a wide variety of community members and organizations and nonprofits and so forth. So it was a large group of individuals, and the byproduct of this group was to develop a PSA um, talking about gun violence and identifying potential strategies to break the cycle of gun violence that's happening in our communities. And largely, another message that's coming out of the release of this PSA is that there is a huge need for mentors, youth mentors in Dane County. And the United Way is working with several agencies and organizations to help increase the numbers of mentors that they have available for our youth. The value of mentors is obviously very significant. We're talking about serious matters here related to gun violence. But obviously, even the stolen automobile situation that we talked about just earlier in this conversation also is affected by our youth in juvenile crime. And if anyone is interested in becoming part of the solution to help reduce juvenile crime, I would encourage them to reach out to the United Way and see which organizations are out there looking to add youth mentors and volunteer your time to help better our Madison metropolitan communities.
Yeah, it's if you we'll share this PSA on In Fact TV and up on our Facebook and YouTube pages, so you can check that out. Mentoring from the police department standpoint, community policing is a is a buzzword in police departments across the country. But from your standpoint, how important is it that the officers do make that connection? And in some way, they are mentoring the youth, being out there, being seen, being heard, and again, making that connection with an officer and youth. So important.
Yeah, obviously you're right. We try to lead by example, inform positive relationships and those things with our community. Clearly, 2020 has been a challenge for doing proactive outreach activities. We've been able to do just a handful of them, and we're hoping that 2020 is a different year. But again, there are a variety of strategies that need to be utilized, and obviously community policing and problem-oriented policing is one particular strategy that can be deployed in conjunction with other strategies to end violence and or reduce violence in our communities. And clearly it takes all of the community, all of our stakeholders, all of our nonprofits, all aspects of government, criminal justice, employment, education, housing, income. Across the board, there are contributing factors to what leads to violence in our community. And when we can take a multi-faceted approach to address or try to reduce these calls from a variety of different angles, including things like youth mentoring, I think our chances of success are going to be much more great.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm glad you brought up some of those points. I think it's so important, and it's a lot of work that's been happening behind the scenes, I think, from your department, anyways. But great to see this develop, and it does take a community, Chad, to take on these issues. And I know we've talked about that many times here on Talking Fitchburg. Chad, as we wrap up here and looking into 2021, just a couple of quick items that you have on the list here that we can share with residents.
Yeah, every year we have a lot of things on our plate to try to address and improve and look at opportunities within our department. I certainly won't get into that rather exhaustive list that it seems we never have enough time and resources to fully get at. But some real highlights that we'll be working on here in the police department in 2021 include three things. One is an updated staffing plan and strategic plan that will identify our staffing needs over the next 5 years and also identify some of the goals and initiatives that we have for our staff and department during that 5-year period as well. A couple other items include working with a vendor to update our policy and procedure manual. We are looking at a cover-to-cover review, evaluation, and update. That is just getting started here this month. We've had a couple of meetings with that vendor and have an internal work group put together, so stay tuned for that. And then finally, the town of Madison absorption is coming for all intents and purposes in about 18 months. And that 18 months is going to go by very, very quickly. The cities of Madison and Fitchburg and the town of Madison have a lot of things to work through in order to make that absorption as relatively seamless as possible for town residents and the residents of their two cities. And there are a lot of items and details to work out as it relates just to the policing side alone that we'll be working with both the town of Madison Police and the city of Madison Police to again try to make that transition to us beginning to police a section of the town as seamless as possible.
Just a few items to work on, Chad.
Those are just the biggies.
Stop at dinner.
Chad,
There's
I
plenty of
appreciate
small
your
and
time.
mediums.
Exactly. A lot of stuff happening there. Chad, thank you so much for your time as always. And we look forward to chatting with you all this year and sharing the wonderful work that you're doing down there in the department. Stay safe. Tell everybody to stay safe out there. And we look forward to having you back next month.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You bet. Chad Brecklin, your chief of police. Again, we'll check back in with each and every month here in 2021. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Yeah, definitely.